NewsTalk 1090 AM WILD Boston, where information is power.
Welcome back to the Warren Ballentine Show, heard coast to coast and border to border, giving the truth fighters a voice in the call for justice. 877-373-9766. 877-373-9766. Join the truth fighters in full effect right now.
All right, Truth Fighters, 877-373-9766, number to dial as we celebrate Dr. King's legacy today. I want to play something for you right now from Dr. King about the Vietnam War. And this is why I keep saying that I think that he would be protesting what is going on in our communities and what's going on with the wars overseas today. And many believe this is the reason that he is not here today. Listen to this.
A time comes when silence is betrayal. That time has come for us, even when pressed by the demands of inner truth. Men do not easily assume the task of opposing their government's policy, especially in time of war. And I knew that I could never again raise my voice against the violence of the oppressed in the ghettos without having first spoken clearly to the greatest purveyor of violence in the world today, my own government. What do they think as we test out our latest weapons on them, just as the Germans tested out new medicine and new tortures in the concentration camps of Europe? Now that is little left to build on save bitterness. We are met by deep but understandable mistrust. To speak for them is to explain this lack of confidence in Western words, and especially their distrust of American intentions now. The world now demands a maturity of America that we may not be able to achieve. This way of settling differences is not just. A nation that continues year after year to spend more money on military defense than on programs of social uplift is approaching spiritual death. Somehow this madness must cease. We must stop now. I speak as one who loves America. To the leaders of our own nation, the great initiative in this war is ours. The initiative to stop it must be ours. Now,
This speech, given 40 plus years ago, is so on point even today. We're going to be spiritually bankrupt because we're spending all this money on war. What's happened to this country? We're spiritually bankrupt. We spend more money on war than on our own people here in this country. What's happened to this country? That's the case in this country right now. This is why I can say that Dr. King would be opposed to what we're doing. Let's go to Deborah in Youngstown, Ohio, 1570 AM, line 1. Hey, Deborah.
Hey, Warren, how are you?
Good.
Good. I enjoy your show. I usually listen at work, but I'm off today.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. But the reason why that I was calling, one of your callers talked about developing radio stations, and here in Youngstown, Ohio, we desperately need a radio station that caters to the baby boomers, so to speak. What we have you guys on AM for a certain period of the day. And then we have hip-hop, and then that's all. So there's no clear communication source for my age group.
Right.
And so there's 4 ladies, 3 and myself. We knew this, and so we said, let's get together and start trying to pool our monies so that we can start a, rhythm and blues station, one where we know, the people of our age are listening to us. And so as I heard your caller, I was wondering, is there a national movement toward minorities starting a radio station that you know of that we can plug into that would help us?
I don't know of a national movement, but I will say this. I think that if you guys just went to the station that you're listening on right now and said, look, we want to do something. We want to support you guys. How can we help? I think they would be open to that. And I think that's the thing. I do. I think, and the reason I'm saying that is because if they're playing a show like mine and Sharpness, I know that they're open to what the people want to hear as far as, education and development and different kind of music. So, I would before we jump and say, well, let's go buy a whole bunch of radio stations, let's work with the stations we got. Let's see if we can work with them, because if we're bringing them listeners and money, I'm sure they're going to want to work with us.
Well, that's a good idea. We just assumed, since they took off all the programming that we liked, and I mean, because radio here is awesome.
Well, it's like that in most cities. But what you have to do is not just getting you and the three women financially involved. Get petitions going. Get numbers. Because see, the thing about everybody, whether you're talking about TV, radio, anything else, if you got the even politics, if you got the numbers, people gonna listen. That's the whole thing. I'm out of time. I'm up against commercial break.
Well, thank you.
Thank you so much. Love you guys in Youngstown. 877-373-9766. Talking to you, Truth Fighters, as we remember Dr. King right here, right now. Warren Ballentine Show.
1090 WILDAF. WILD. Where information is power.
Welcome back to the Warren Ballentine Show, heard coast to coast and border to border, giving the Truth Fighters a voice in the call for justice. 877-373-9766. 877-373-9766. Join the Truth Fighters in full effect right now.
All right, Truth Fighters, let me thank everybody who appeared on the show, everybody on Ustream.tv, Facebook, Twitter, everybody listening via internet, satellite radio, or however you're listening to the show. Thank you so much, whether it's iPhone or BlackBerry app or however you're doing it. Thank you for listening to the show. Take today, if you don't do anything else, if you have children, take time to talk to them, not just about Dr. King. Talk to them about Malcolm. Talk to them about Marcus Garvey. Talk to them about Charles Wacker or Whitney Young or Charles Drew. Talk to them about where they come from and who their lineage is, so they'll know how great they are. See, the thing about history is this. If you don't talk about the history is forgotten. And once the history is forgotten, we fall into this complacency of, oh, well, whatever they tell us, that's what it is. That's why we are the way we are today. Folks, it's amazing me how some folks think, oh man, slavery was so long ago, we ain't got to talk about that. Civil rights was so long ago, we don't have to talk about that. Yes, we do. The reason why the Jewish community is the way that they are is because of three reasons. They pool their sources together. They educate their children themselves about the history of their people. And they will never let the world forget the Holocaust that happened. Why shouldn't we be doing the same thing? It's not self-pity to say, look, what happened to us X amount of years ago was wrong. And we're still feeling what happened X amount of years ago. See, we get into this concept of, we get brainwashed to believe, oh, if you got a degree, you making some money, you can pull yourself up by your bootstraps. What if you ain't got no doggone bootstraps? What do you do then? Let's go out to the phone lines. Marcus in Cleveland, WERE. Welcome to the show, Marcus. Line 5, please.
Hey, look, you're an outstanding gentleman. I love the way you talk and you tell so much truth, and that's what it's all about. As far as Martin Luther King, I think his whole point was, as far as he wanted to represent the law, and what I mean is put laws that is equal to everybody. And to me, that's the way of the Most High. That's why he was a reverend. But the question I wanted to ask you, what do you mean when you say we're not kumbaya? First of all, do you know what kumbaya stands for and what it means?
When I'm saying the kumbaya, I'm not talking about in the definition of the word kumbaya. I'm talking about in the concept of when you hear kumbaya, my Lord, you see us holding hands and singing and standing by side, singing kumbaya, my Lord, kumbaya. I'm talking about it in that sense, not in the definitional sense, in the sense that we have to stop being in this kumbaya moment and saying, whenever something goes wrong, let's just hold hands and sing and dance and go side by side. We got to get into this mindset of, you know what? This is a moment where we need to be fixing and changing, not just standing and singing. That's what I'm saying it as.
Okay, because kumbaya in the Hebrew means come back God. And
I understand that. I understand what it meant. But I'm saying it in the concept of when most people hear kumbaya, they don't know that definition. What they think of when they hear kumbaya is people holding hands and dancing and going side by side. You know, and one of the things that, and I'm glad you brought this up, because a lot of times I'll hear people say, well, Warren, you give the Nation of Islam and Muslims so much respect. And I always ask them, do you submit your will to God? And they say, yes, I do. I said, then you're a Muslim. That's the definition of a Muslim. But most people don't know that. Most people don't know that at all. So I have to talk from a direction of them being able to visualize what I'm saying instead of a definitional one, because most people don't know the definitions.
Okay, and one last thing. The Most High said, love thyself as we love our neighbors.
Yeah.
And the point is with us, we seem to want to love everybody else except our own self.
That's right. That's right.
And when you do that, you go against the will of the Most High, because he didn't say that, you know.
That's right.
For our heathens, and some of the people who's going to do wrong, and they're not going to always be right. That's why he says only a remnant will be saved.
That's right.
And that's my remark. So
hey, brother, that's a great call, Marcus. Thank you for the call. That's a great call. Outstanding call. Let's go to Juan in Shreveport, Louisiana. Line 7. What's up, Juan?
Hey, my brother. How you feeling?
You got it, brother.
Hey, man, got a quick comment and a question. Question is, man, when are you going to come to Shreveport? I know you was in New Orleans the last
all you got to do is give me an invitation to some kind of event. Let me know. I'll be there.
Oh, that's what's up, man. Listen, and to comment on Martin Luther King Day, you know, I was watching earlier on the History Channel of some of his speeches, and you know they showed some documentation of what he did, you know, and I really feel that he was trying to make sure that our race had a equality or had an equal in society, because even today, even though racism is still here, we're still not considered as equals.
Let me tell you the beauty of Dr. King, of Du Bois, and so many others. They were able to literally take the words of the Constitution and use it to show that not only just show that we had the right, but also use it to show that they were breaking their own laws. They're not even being true to their own laws. So that was the beauty about Dr. King and Du Bois and Thurgood Marshall and so many other people, because they were able to look at the times and say, well, wait a minute, this is your law that you saying that we need to follow, and your law is saying that you wrong in what you're doing.
Exactly. And that's what we have to look at today. I do appreciate, I listen to you every day, man. This is my first time calling. I listen to you every day. I'm a truck driver here in Shreveport, and every chance I get, I try to listen to you, and I really do appreciate the work you're doing, even when you even the banks that you're trying to start. I'm going to one day try to participate in that. But I appreciate but we do have to make sure that we don't lose sight of what he was doing for us.
What, brother? Let me tell you. It's God working here, because I'm out of time for sure. I thank you for the call, and love the truck drivers, love you guys in Shreveport. But the last speech that I'm gonna play for Dr. King was the very last speech that he gave. And I want you to listen to the words of this particular point of the speech. It goes to right what you were saying about making sure that we don't forget what he was talking about. This is Dr. King's last speech in Memphis, Tennessee, when he was there with the sanitation workers, the garbage men.
Be true to what you said on paper. If I lived in China or even Russia or any totalitarian country, maybe I could understand some of these illegal injunctions. Maybe I could understand the denial of certain basic First Amendment privileges because they haven't committed themselves to that over there. But somewhere I read of the freedom of assembly. Somewhere I read of the freedom of speech. Somewhere I read of the freedom of press. Somewhere I read that the greatness of America is the right to protest far right. And so just as I say we aren't going to let any dogs or water hoses turn us around, we aren't going to let any injunction turn us around. Well, I don't know what will happen now. We've got some difficult days ahead.
Don't play nothing.
But it really doesn't matter with me now, because I've been to the mountaintop. I don't mind. Like anybody, I would like to live a long life. Longevity has its place. But I'm not concerned about that now. I just want to do God's will. And He's allowed me to go up to the mountain. And I've looked over and I've seen the promised land. I may not get there with you, but I want you to know tonight that we as a people will get to the promised land. So I'm happy tonight. I'm not worried about anything. I'm not fearing any man. Mine eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord.